This is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue, and I am Jana Bosonko. We apologize for the late start. Now here are the main news headlines. As the world commemorates International Day for Victims of Acts of Violence based on religion or belief, religious leaders in the Gambia call for continuous harmonious coexistence and religious tolerance. Team Banjul, a movement of young people, staged an awareness-raising campaign on Monday for the protection of the Tambi wetlands complex against encroachment for industrial use. At the Voice Achievers Award, one of the biggest annual African social events held on Saturday for the first time in the country, several Gambian political leaders were among others who received prestigious awards. The ECOWAS Parliament's Joint Committee delocalized meeting ended in the Gambia with members partially adopting a resolution to safeguard peace and stability. And in sports news, Walidan are winners of the Football Federation Cup after defeating Birkama United on penalties following a 0-0 draw on Sunday at the Independence Stadium in Bakau. Well, those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay with us. Thank you for joining us, and I am Jana Bosonko. You're watching QTV News. Now, as the world commemorates International Day for Victims of Acts of Violence based on religion or belief, religious leaders in the Gambia call for continuous harmonious coexistence and religious tolerance. And Smane Sonyasi has more on that.
The right to freedom of belief is a globally accepted natural fundamental right, along with the right to freedom of opinion and expression and peaceful assembly. However, these rights, especially the right to freedom of religion or belief, are not always guaranteed. For some people, these rights remain far-fetched as they continue to endure persecution, mostly even from those who are supposed to protect them. In recent years, persecution against religious beliefs has yet again reared its ugly head in several places around the globe. China, Eritrea, India, Iran, Nigeria, North Korea, Pakistan, amongst others, are said to be experiencing religious persecution. In the Gambia, thankfully, we pride ourselves on being a peaceful country known for religious tolerance and peaceful coexistence between people of different faiths. Imam Usman Jah, Emirul Hajj of the Gambia, and the Most Reverend Father Peter Lopez, Director of the Gambia Pastoral Institute, emphasized the significance of the day.
When Allah created mankind, He instructed them to deal or to respect each other, to love each other, to help each other. And the basis of dealing with each other should be the basis of humanity.
And let's also not forget that there are also other faiths that have been attacked, because you are attacking what you don't subscribe to. This is what I believe, and this is what you believe. But at the end of the day, you see that people tend to attack what others believe. So persecution has really been part and parcel of Christianity. As I said, the two are so intertwined that even before Christ departed, he says to them, if they have persecuted me, who is your Lord and Master, they will also persecute you.
They also called on Gambians to continue to nurture peace, spread love and tolerance, adding that the Holy Scriptures strongly condemn any form of persecution or violence against fellow human beings for simply having different beliefs.
Anybody who believes in humanity, brotherhood in humanity, definitely will feel very, very, very bad. I thought that mankind passed that era where you look at your human brother and discriminate him, fight him, or do anything bad to him because of his sect or because of his belief.
Half of my family are all Muslim, my aunties are Muslims. So really, and we have lived together amicably over the years. My advice on this very important day is that let us just not allow what we see on television and the influences that may come in to break that fabric, to break how we used to live. Let's say in Banjul many years ago, Banjul was just a little hamlet, if you wish, where we all lived together and shared our resources together.
There are continuing acts of intolerance and violence against persons belonging to religious communities and religious minorities around the world. And the number and intensity of such incidents, which are often of a criminal nature and may have international characteristics, are increasing. Hence the need for global action against what Imam Jah and Father Lopez described as a senseless fight against humanity that should be condemned by all. Answane Sonyasi for KTV News.
Now let's continue to peacefully coexist. Now, Team Our Banjul, a movement of young people, staged an awareness-raising campaign on Monday for the protection of the Tambi Wetlands complex against encroachment for industrial use. The wetlands is home to several birds and marine species and acts as a sewage sink and a buffer against floods. Mamadou Lamin Choi has the rest of that story.
This is the Tambi Wetlands, which is 6,000 hectares west and southwest of Banjul and the southern channel of the mouth of the River Gambia. It is one of the 3 Ramsar designated sites as wetlands of international importance in the Gambia. The Ramsar Convention, to which the Gambia became an active signatory on January 16, 1997, aims to conserve and halt worldwide loss of wetlands through wise use and management of those that remain. These young people, on an awareness campaign they call Our Banjul, which means Protect Banjul, are also sending a reminder to government of its domestic and international obligations to conserve and protect the Tambi wetlands from degradation or encroachment for industrial use. Suleiman Jai is the interim secretary of Our Banjul movement.
Based on all these evidences that these areas which is protecting Banjul is being allocated without due process, we see the need to come out as young people to stand firm to protect the environmental concerns we are having, and we believe that if Tambi is not protected, we as the residents of Banjul, we are not protected.
This drone footage shows what appears to be encroachment on part of the Tambi wetlands with industrial buildings, including a food processing factory, a petrol station, and a dry dock already constructed for commercial use. These are regarded as threats to the wetlands. Earlier this month, I spoke to Matar Sise, the Director of Technical Services at the Works Ministry, in the wake of sea level rise, which saw seawater crossing to the Bon Polder Pond along the Bond Road.
What that does is that it reduces the capacity of the Bon Polder to retain water. So if the rains are actually exceptional like we have had in these past few weeks, then the capacity is not there. Then what will happen is either we have to pump it out into the sea or the excess water goes back into the city.
Due to its strategic proximity to the capital, the Tambi wetland swamp acts as a buffer and a sink for drains and sewage from Banjul to prevent or mitigate the impact of flooding. The Banjul Declaration and the Wildlife Conservation Act of 1977, signed by former President Jawara, paved the way for protection of the wetlands. Improper use of the wetlands could potentially pose environmental threats to people and marine resources.
I can tell you that a few days ago, the Vice President invited all the stakeholders and all the cabinet ministers so that we look at that option, and then the Minister of Local Government was also tasked to go around and see for themselves if there are encroachment that do not meet the legal requirement so that government can ask for a demolition at the moment.
80% of the Tambi wetlands complex is mangrove forest and home to marine species and over 300 bird species. Mangrove swamps in wetlands are spawning and nursing grounds for 80 marine and fish species, for which Tambi wetlands is believed to be critical. At least 15 communities in the western region and Carniving Municipal Council, as well as Banjul City, depend on the Tambi wetlands complex for fishing, oyster harvesting, wood supplies, ecotourism, and other activities. These youth are committed to taking measures, including engaging authorities to protect and conserve the Tambi wetlands. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Interesting. Now, the Voice Achievers Award, one of the biggest annual African social events, held on Saturday for the first time in this country. Usuino A&M Dabo, Halifa Sallah, and Mama Kanda, leaders of the UDP, DOI, and GDC parties, respectively, were awarded African Political Figure Award, African Courageous Award, and African Inspirational Award 2022, among a long list of awardees. Alusisa was there and fastened this report.
The Voice Achievers Award is dedicated to appreciating contributions from Africans and Friends of Africa who, through their activities and influence, have impacted positively on the lives of fellow Africans. In line with its mission and vision, the Voice Achievers Award collaborated with I Am Africa under the leadership of Her Excellency Ambassador Laira Rahal El Edfani, Vice President of The Voice magazine, to foster best corporate relationship with Africa, to recognize and appreciate leadership qualities and innovative and sustainable growth efforts targeted at advancing the cause of Africa. Attended by invited guests from within and outside Africa, the glamorous night witnessed the presentations of several awards to individuals from across Africa, Middle East, and Europe, including politicians, music producers, agriculturists, businessmen, entrepreneurs, and chairman of the Gambia's Independent Electoral Commission, Ali Momar Njai, among others.
Africa is the last territory. Everywhere has been divided. Africa still has resources.
This award is not my award. It's the Gambian award. Without you Gambians, I will not receive this award.
No human being on this earth had ever risen to greatness without being carried on the shoulders of the mass of the people.
It's my honor to achieve this in your presence. Many more will follow as I continue to inspire.
Ndubuisi Elvis Iro, publisher and editor-in-chief of The Voice magazine, an African magazine published in the diaspora, expressed pride in having the event hosted in the Gambia, as he thanked all those who supported it to make the event a success.
As we recognize you, we are simply saying that you have done well and that you can do more. It is not an award for us to relax and to stop. It's an award that should constantly remind you, as you have it in your office or in your home, that those guys from the Voice Achievers Award are challenging me to do more.
The Achievers Award started in 2012 in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, and has recognized over 100 recipients, including African businesses, individuals, corporate organizations, governmental institutions, and ordinary citizens contributing to the advancement of humanity in Africa. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Now, congratulations to all awardees. From that story by Aliou Cisse, we will now go for a short commercial break. And when we come back, we have some more local news stories for you as well as sports. Don't go anywhere.
The Ministry of Health, in collaboration with partners, will be embarking on another countrywide COVID-19 vaccination campaign from 11 to 28 August 2022. Vaccination teams will be deployed to public places such as community bantabas, health facilities, schools, markets, crossing points, and other strategic locations. All eligible people aged 12 and above are encouraged to come out and be vaccinated. Vaccination teams will be administering 3 types of vaccines, namely Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and Sinopharm, all of which are safe and effective in preventing severe COVID-19 infection, hospitalization, and death. For more information, call the ministry's toll-free number 1025.
To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Jenna Bosonko. Now, the ECOWAS Parliament's Joint Committee delocalized meeting has ended in the Gambia, with members partially adopting a resolution which, among other things, underscored the need to reflect more on measures to consolidate democracy and Republican values to safeguard peace and stability. Ali Sisa again.
During the course of the interactive meeting in Banjul of the ECOWAS Parliament's Joint Committee on Political Affairs, Peace, Security and African Peer Review Mechanism, Legal Affairs and Human Rights and Social Welfare, Gender and Women Empowerment, members of the Joint Committee considered various issues raised about the political, security and human rights situation in the sub-region. In light of the presentations made on the protocols on democracy and good governance, the fight against corruption, the ECOWAS counter-terrorism strategy, as well as the ECOWAS integrated maritime strategy. The Joint Committee met in Banjul to discuss the challenges in implementing the committee text relating to peace, security, democracy and good governance. Honorable Ladi Aya Ayamba, Chair of the ECOWAS Parliament's Joint Committee on Social Welfare, Gender and Women Empowerment, read out the final resolution, which, among other things, said members underscored the need to reflect more on measures to consolidate democratic and republican values, both among political elites and citizens of the community, to safeguard peace and stability.
Limiting the number of presidential terms must remain a key measure for safeguarding political stability, as well as the clear prohibition to tamper with constitutions and other fundamental laws in a bid to unduly retain power to the detriment of the principles of power transfer, equity and equality.
On the rule of law and human rights, members of the Joint Committee welcomed the proposed institutionalization of an ECOWAS Special Human Rights Rapporteur as a relevant instrument to monitor the respect for human rights by member states. However, they said national human rights institutions must also be strengthened. Members encourage more women's representation in national assemblies and political activities. Miata Lily French, the new ECOWAS Special Representative in the Gambia, hopes resolutions, when fully adopted, will be followed by effective implementation.
And I hope that the conclusions and the recommendations that you have put forward are followed. Like Honorable Snow mentioned, elections and democracy are very close to my heart. And I hope that this sub-region is able to overcome the current problems that we are having.
Contrary to media reports that ECOWAS Parliament intends to introduce a bill to block or criminalize presidential third terms, Honorable Senator Edwin Snow Jr., Chair of the ECOWAS Parliament's Committee on Political Affairs, Peace, Security and African Peer Review Mechanism, clarifies that ECOWAS Parliament, unlike national assemblies, does not sponsor bills.
At the ECOWAS Parliament, we do not sponsor bills, we don't pass bills. We pass on resolutions that are subject to the authorities of head of states and government. So again, we just want to make this clear. And we don't write the constitution of a member state. So if your constitution gives you 20 terms, it's your constitution. If your constitution gives you 2 terms, it's your constitution. We only go to a member state and respect the constitution of the member state. So I thought to clear the air so that we don't leave here with all of the good things that the people of Gambia have done for us and leave here with the wrong impression or wrong statement of what we did not say. We've come here to compliment your work. We've come here to work with you.
The resolution will be fully adopted at the Joint Committee's next sittings. Reporting for QTV News, I am Ali Usise.
Still on local news, as farmers in the North Bank region, especially those growing watermelons and coos, have urged the government to reduce the price of fertilizer to help their crops produce a better yield. Our regional correspondent Don Williams spoke to some farmers, and his report is narrated by Churchill Balde.
Farmers who grow groundnuts, maize and coos prefer to sow them early so the crops can have adequate water to reach maturity. For others who grow crops like watermelon, a later start is preferred because watermelons need less water compared to others. For that reason, they are planted around the mid or end of August. As we go deeper into the season, some farmers are happy for the rain to continue in the way it started this year, as they see that as the sign there will be a bumper harvest. Masane Sen, a farmer, said the season is going okay, but the cost of fertilizer is too expensive.
Ren fertilizer mom kay mom
This year, a lot of farmers will not be able to buy fertilizer because the price is high. Those who usually buy 10 bags cannot do so this year. Farmers are poor, and what we grow is what we eat. The rainy season also comes with other challenges. At least, if the price is $1,000, that will be better.
At least, guys, you could definitely maybe $1,000
Another farmer at Chala Sabasanjal, Isusufa Gay, said without fertilizer, the crop yield will not be good. They say the price of fertilizer is $2,500. If we cannot afford a bag of rice, how can we afford fertilizer? Fertilizer is important because it helps our crops produce high yield, especially coos, maize, and groundnuts. If the government can leave the price as it was last year, that will be good. Ibrahim Njai, a farmer who lives in Farafenni, Mauritania, echoed similar sentiments, saying the soil is less fertile and the nutrients are depleted. The soil is not fertile and lacks nutrients, and rain is unpredictable. Good fertilizer will help the crops grow and produce well. That's why we need fertilizer. This year's rainy season caught some farmers unprepared. However, they all had the same complaint about the cost of fertilizers. For now, it seems there is a mixed picture, with many farmers happy about the rains, including those caught unawares. What all the watermelon, coos, maize, and groundnut growers have in common is that the government should further subsidize the cost of fertilizers. For QTV News, I am Churchill Balde.
From that story, now let's take a look at what is happening in the world of sports. Walidan are winners of the GFF Cup after defeating Birkama United on penalties following a 0-0 draw on Sunday at the Independence Stadium in Bakau. Our sports reporter Momodu Gajago was there and fastened this report.
Heroic goalkeeping ensured Walidan scooped the second most important silverware in Gambian football, the Football Federation Cup, popularly called the FF Cup. Former Brikama United goalkeeper Musa Jatta saved 2 spot kicks for Walidan in the penalty shootout as they won 4-2. For 90 minutes, both sides could not break the deadlock, and there were a few chances to add so. Walidan came close through Usman Silla in the first half, but his shot was saved by Boubacar Silla. Brikama United too had their moments when the Walidan defense had a mixed-up, but Ibrahim Bangura's shot was saved by Musa Jatta. Walidan coach Fode Ba says winning the FF Cup title was something expected.
We had a very good preparation. I think we have a better preparation than any other club here. We went to Saudi Arabia. We worked so hard for this. We wanted to win both the league and the FF Cup. But unfortunately, we couldn't get the league. One thing, I've had a lot of criticism. That's fine, it's football. We had a lot of injuries. Players were going up and down, right? Coming in and out. When we regrouped, we've already lost the league. I told the players, look, we can't. If we lose the league and the FF Cup, it's a failure, total failure. So we got to win one. At least we've lost the league, then we focus on the FF Cup. Unfortunately for us today, we did.
Brikama United coach Modulamin Nyasi says his league performance wasn't good enough. Losing the FF Cup final is painful.
Yeah, I think I would say we have a bad season. Obviously, starting very good in the first round, and then second round was very woeful. And then we need to rectify our mistakes and all those what happened in the second round in the FF Cup. But then that's football for you. Sometimes the best team win, sometimes the best team will not win. So I think congratulations to Walid, and that's all I can say. We could have won this. This is my second FF Cup final that I played and then lost. So, but then we go back and then work hard. We come back stronger. Yes.
Walidan's win was the 24th time they have won this trophy, formerly known as the FA Cup. The FF Cup final brings the football season to a close. Hawks won the First Division title 26 years on from their previous league title triumph. Real de Banjul were second. In the second division, PSV Wellingara were crowned champions, with Greater Tomorrow FC second. Red Scorpions won the women's first division title, 7 points ahead of the Gambia Police Force. A tied race in the women's second division saw Joshua United edge Koita FC by a single point. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Now, congratulations to Walidan for winning the FF Cup. From that story by Mamudu Gajaga, that is all we have time for till we come your way at 10 p.m. Thanks for watching.